Hello again and welcome to Ndudu by Fafa.
Hello everyone, my name is Fafa Gilbert and welcome to my creative African cooking channel, Ndudu by Fafa. This is where you will eat for me. Like, I make tasty dishes, creative dishes, you know, it's just like, just want you to eat like a king and a queen that you are. Yeah, yes, exactly. So yeah, let's start cooking. So as part of the Ghana series, I'm actually bringing you this Palmnutsoup with a twist. I know, right? Yes. So this is the palm fruits that we actually use in making our palm oil, as well as the Palmnutsoup. I know, right? What I used to like about this was once you actually boiled it and then, you know, you pounded it to take the chaff out and all that bit, the seeds, you can actually break into it and you have this beautiful nut. And I used to actually eat those nuts. Secondly, as well, what I actually loved about it was you can actually extract some oil as well from the nuts as well. So this is actually quite good. But anyway, let me show you what I'm doing today. So traditionally, one would actually pound the palm nuts and actually separate the seeds from the chaff by, you know, adding some hot water and stuff to it. But when I went to Ghana, there's this incredible lady that actually gifted me this beautiful EZ palm nuts and turkey berry mixture. So she's actually taking the hassle away from this. So she's already pounded it, and this turkey berry is a salsa. I don't know how to say it. How embarrassing. It's a kwewu and suswa. Yes, I think I said it right. If I haven't, just leave a comment below and correct me. But yes, I think she's a genius for doing this. And yeah, let's just see how I actually use this. I'm not sure if it's actually available in the UK yet. So what I do have here is my pounded palm nut. So you're left with the fibers as well as the cream, and I'm going to extract the cream from this beauty. I think this is like so good that I can actually make my palm nut from scratch. Anyway, let's start. And I'm just going to add some hot water to it. And I'm going to take the cream out of it. It's quite easy, but what I'm also looking forward to are the seeds, which I think they've actually been removed here. Oh. So I remember when I actually filmed this, I did show a few on my Instagram stories. You do need to check it out, and you need to actually connect through to me as well on Instagram. And the thing was, everybody kept asking, oh, where can I get this from in the UK? And I doubt that's in the UK. Hopefully, by this video, you know, we can actually help to propel her to be able to actually export it to the UK, because definitely would like it. And across the world, really, why not? Yes, well done to her. So EZ palm nuts, yes. So thanks. I mean, I'll say something. I've never met this young lady at all. However, she communicated via, you know, Instagram, and she just said, "Oh, I just want to give you a product that, you know, I want you to review." And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And I like the length that she took, because, you know, I was very busy, and you know, nothing fazed her. She made sure I actually had this. So yeah, well done, you girl. Well done. I like that. I like a trier, and definitely kudos to you. So anyway, enough of my chit chat, even though they're equally important. Once you actually thaw the mixture, all I've just done is just added some hot water, because that would actually enable the mixture to actually melt or separate from the chaff. Now, you don't throw the chaff away. No. That's what we use in lighting our barbecues and our coal pots and stuff. So everything about this gets used. And yes, once you actually have enough water, you strain it, as you can see here. Now, just ensure that you do protect your hands, because it can stain your hands. So of course, that's why I'm actually using my glove here. Now, it's actually best to use hot water for this. So what you do is just add the hot water, mix everything together, and then, you know, try and use a ladle if it's still hot, or just leave it till it actually comes to room temperature, one that you can actually touch, and then strain it. Now, usually when you do strain it, you will find some particles at the bottom. So what I tend to do is actually strain it at least 2 or 3 times. So if you can do that, to just make sure that you've got rid of every impurities, as you can see here.
So the trick is, once you're actually pouring everything out into your strainer, when you just get to the bottom parts, just do it slowly, because then you can actually see the particles and you stop, as you can see here. So I think now this is actually perfectly strained, and yes, and I can actually bring it to the boil by placing it on a medium heat. Now you need to actually pay attention to this, because you can see that yeah, I think I've actually filled this a little bit too much, and I know that I have to actually pour some of the soup in another bowl, because once it actually starts to bubble, it's actually going to come up, and if I'm not careful, it's just going to spill everywhere. So I'm actually going to be boiling this mixture for about 25 minutes, because I need it almost done before I actually add my own shenanigans to it. So the foam that you can actually see on the surface, that's actually the oil. And what I'm actually doing is reintroducing the soup that I've actually reserved in the bowl back into it, and each time that it reduces, I add a little bit more, and if it happens that it's about to boil over, bubble over, I just pour it back in the bowl. But here I have it. So as I said, now you can actually see that the oil has settled at the top and there's no foam now. So now I'm ready to add my flavors. So yes, I'm actually adding my grains of saline. Yes, I told you this is not going to be any other soup. You don't even know what else I've done. And my holy grails, I've got my ginger, aniseed, I've omitted garlic from that, and lots of onions, and I've blended that, and I've added about 3 tablespoonfuls to my soup, and I'm just going to mix everything together till it's well combined. So as I always preach, I like to actually preach, yes, of course. I always like to cook on a medium heat. Now I'm going to add some more flavors. So I'm actually adding about a teaspoonful of my African nutmeg that's been blended. I don't actually know the local name, but if you do, just leave your comments below. And to that, I'm also adding dawa dawa. So you see, this soup and kasankasano, it's like it's packed with flavors, natural flavors, of course. There's nothing artificial about this. This is natural, pure flavors that you're just going to enjoy. And I'm mixing everything together. Look at that. It's just going in circles until it's well combined. So I'm sure at this point you think that I'm done. Oh no, flavor here. So I'm adding 3 tablespoonfuls of my shrimp powder. Yeah, Charlie. Inquiring their bed. Hey, the chef vegan. Anyway, so I've just mixed it and I've tasted it, and the flavor is just on point, and this is just bubbling perfectly. So now I'm actually going to be adding my chilies, which they're going to add the aromatic flavor and that little spiciness to the soup as well, and of course my tomatoes. So tomatoes would actually give it that sweetness, and so with the inclusion of onions, because onions actually do add also this beautiful flavor to the dish, and it actually gives it this depth of flavor that's just like yes. So yes, as I said, I'll be blending this together once it actually cooks, and we should take about another 10 minutes, and you can see that the tomato is actually splitting, and you can see, yeah, this is just perfect. It's ready for me to blend it. So yes, onions come here, add a few chilies to it, yes, why not? And I'm just going to blend this, and guess what, we introduce it to the soup. This is Flavor Zone. Whilst the mixture is actually blending, I've actually got my smoked catfish here. Yes, baby. And I'm now just going to add that to the soup. So it's just going to intensify the flavor as well. Thing is, it doesn't take long for this smoked fish, even though it's dried, to actually cook. So I will be taking it out later. But here I've also got some smoked fish as well. I'm just adding it all together. So you see, this is becoming all fishy and just nice, you know, flavor. No, my built in the At this point, I was just like, yeah, this soup actually looks like it's full, because I need to actually add my blended tomatoes and onions as well. But anyway, I went ahead and I added my mushrooms, you know, mixing it all like, yeah, me a champion. And you know what? The Ghanaian mushrooms are to die for. So definitely, if you do have that, just add that to it as well. And of course, I'm adding my salt to taste. I think a lot of people do say that, oh, you know, you don't usually add salt. I do sometimes, and sometimes I don't. It depends on what spices I've actually used. So yeah, I've got this here, and I'm like, okay, now I'm in trouble. So at this point, I actually had to make a chef executive decision. Yes, my cat. to, you know, save the oil, just in case that when I do add my blended tomatoes and onions, you know, I don't lose this at all. And yes, the oil I'm actually going to be reserving, and I'll be using it for my bean stew, which is a recipe that will be coming up as well. My bean stew, dear Charlie, I'll tell you, so now that I've actually just scooped this beauty, look at that, it's bubbling just beautifully. So now I'm going to be adventurous, and I'm going to actually, you know, pray and go like, okay, let me just add this blended mixture. So I'm adding it. I had to stop. Of course I had to. So I've just mixed this, and you can just see that tomatoes as well helps the mixture actually produce more oil in that sense. So you can just see that it's just becoming foamy. Now, anytime your soup is foamy means that it's not cooked. Once the oil settles at the top, then you know that it's cooked. So yeah, me, I'm just like, you know, doing my own little thing. And then I'm like, yes, I'm going to add some smoked paprika to the mixture. Yeah, Mekumo. Yeah. What? Trust me. You've got the fishiness in here, and you've got the smokiness coming from this beautiful paprika. Yeah, trust me, just try it and just thank me later. Now, of course, I think this fish, I have to save this fish, so I'm actually going to reserve the fish and continue with the soup. Yes, the head actually just, you know, I'll leave the head in the soup, it doesn't matter. So here I'm actually bubbling it away. At this point, this is actually taking me about 20 minutes, yes, to get to the stage, and you can just see how beautiful and rich the soup is. It's not even ready yet too. And look at the chili, just like, you know, doing its thing on the surface. Now I've blended some onions, fresh onions, because I'll tell you what, it revives the flavor of the soup. I mean, this soup is like one of those soup that, trust me, when you actually have it. Ndudu midawasio, akbalo yo mohwe la. Magenta. Yeah, all I'm just saying is, like, when you try the soup, you're going to say thank you. Now, of course, you notice that the soup has reduced because I did scoop some out. I had to. And now I'm actually adding my steamed goat meat. Yes. So I steamed the goat meat in my holy grail, which was my ginger, onion, aniseed. Yes. And I slow cooked it for about 45 minutes. And it's now perfect. So I'm adding that, and I'll be adding some of the stock as well, and just mixing this together. When your friend and nam party, no. And guess what? I'm adding some fresh onions again. Me and my onions in the soup. So I've added the onions, and now I'm adding my okra. Because you can see the soup is like, okay, I've arrived. Now I'll tell you something about soup or stews. It's best the day after, because the flavors do settle. They do settle. And it means that, like, when you scoop it, you try it. So you have some today, and then have another the next day, and you just see, you will definitely be able to tell that flavor it enhances. It's like, yes. And of course, I'm adding my chili to it, as you do. Now, if I did have some garden eggs, I would have actually added it to it, but I didn't have any. So yeah, it's okay, you know. But bearing in mind as well, I also have another Palmnutsoup recipe. But look at how this soup is actually filled to the brim. This is like, you know, technical cooking. I'm just being careful to make sure I don't spill any of this beautiful juice. And here I have my pièce de résistance. So you can see that, look, I've scooped much of the oil out, and I've actually just served it with some fresh fufu in the pot. I'll leave a link about how to actually make your fufu without pounding, yes? And I will leave a link to the recipe, including the list of ingredients and measurements, on my blog in ndudubyfafa.blogspot.com. I hope you are inspired to try this recipe and you've enjoyed this episode. Now, if you have, show me some love down there. Leave some comments. And if you've not clicked that subscribe button, please do. Yes, absolutely. Until next time, take care of you. Be nice, be beautiful, and I love you.